A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Weekend Central. I come to you live from our studios here at Adesawe Kanda in Accra on DSTV. You're live on channel 279 and on all our social media platforms. It's TV3 Ghana. My name is Judith Brown. And
my name is George Quinn. And top of the stories is legal scholar and governance advocate Professor Kweku Asare defends legality of CJ suspension, accuses GBA of spreading confusion and ignoring binding precedent.
Also, there's our acting regional director of health service for Greater Accra urges focus on child wellness strategies.
And residents of Drampon in the Goma West district of the Central Region appeal to government to fix the Ankamu to Drampon road.
Welcome to the bulletin. We start from here. Former Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, and the Kufuor administration, Dr. Abdul Hamid, has expressed his unwavering support for the policies implemented by the NPP whilst in office. Speaking during the party's thank you tour, Dr. Hamid criticized former President John Dramani Mahama, asserting that Mahama lacked serious policy positions for the country's transformation.
We did our best. Why? If we had won the elections, would we have formed a committee to look at why we won? Bob Marley says, he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. All these things General Secretary and Co are saying, Dr. Bawumia, well, they are nice guys. I'm not a very nice guy. So they are nice guys. They will say they are sorry, they did this. But wallahi, there is no policy that the MPP implemented that I am sorry about. Wallahi, I'm not sorry about anything. We did our best for this country. And there is nothing that John Mahama will ever do that will match anything that we have done. Nothing. Nothing. Wallahi, nothing. Look, already see what's going on in governance. Today, they appoint somebody chief executive. Tomorrow, they change him and take him here. Tomorrow, my oil refinery, they appointed Combat. The next week, they removed him at Dr. Suleimana. Yesterday, they removed Suleimana. This is a confused government. They are not going anywhere. You see, if you are winning all the time, you will tend to believe in your own invincibility. Sometimes it is important to lose, to learn humility, and learn that God exists.
Well, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the National Democratic Congress, NDC. He's joining us with more on this. Doc, you have listened to Dr. Abdul Hamid's comments. What are your initial responses to these comments?
Dear, let me say good afternoon to you and your colleague, as well as the cherished viewers of your esteemed station. You see, MPP, the least talk about that party, the better. Just last week, their own flag bearer, the former flag bearer, of course, Dr. Bawumia, talk about arrogance. You see how they are exhibiting it. The arrogance led them out. I thought they have learned their lessons from that. But they are still exhibiting the arrogance that brought them where they are.
Right.
You see, they are yet to come to the full terms of the enormity of the loss that they went through. Ghanaians rejected them totally. It was a total rejection. Look, dear, look, we have several regions. Almost 7 regions, NPP didn't have even 1 seat in those regions. And we have about 5 regions where they got only 1 seat. The combined effect is that about 98 constituencies rejected NPP. Totally. And that is why we are saying that. And to the extent, for the first time, a lot of polling stations, they got 0 votes. 0 means even their own party people rejected them at those polling stations.
Well, Dr. Rashid, so, according to Dr. Hamid, the MPP did its best for the country and that President Mahama and the NDC cannot match what the MPP has achieved. What do you say to that?
I am just giving you the basis. If you did your best and you have a whole 7 regions and none, you couldn't even get 1 seat. You know the numbers in those 7 regions? The number of constituencies in those 7 regions. So do you mean that all that they did their best, the 7 regions didn't see anything good in that? None of them saw anything good in the 7 regions. And then to add it up, the 5 regions additionally, where they got only 1-1, it means those regions, these are large regions. You are talking of Western region, Western North, you are talking of Central region, you are talking of Bono, East Bono, and you are saying that none of them saw anything good in whatever they did. It's only Hamid in his head that he thinks that these people should come to his head and see what they did. You see, this is why I'm talking that they still don't understand why they lost. And they are still talking about this. That's why I initially said they needed to do an apology tour. But these people are not learning anything. They are not even apologizing. Look at the thing that he's saying. When the figures on the ground are saying different story, they are concocting their own stories and telling the people, well, let them continue to claim themselves. We are on top of issues. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is on top of issues. Tell me, I'll say we are not even up to 5 months. 4 months. Look at what we have achieved so far. Just 4 months. Today, have you gone to the market to see the CD? Those holding the dollars, they are running helter-skelter to bring the dollars out. Because it's going down. Fuel price, where he was, is going down. Have you forgotten that he has charges yet to be answered? They are still pursuing him. And then he's talking about issues that he seems not to know the enormity of the crimes they perpetrated against the good people of Ghana.
Right.
That is what he is failing to understand. And I'm telling you that, look, they haven't even seen anything yet. Okay? Whilst there are people are apologizing and talking and saying that arrogance of power led them to where they are, he's exhibiting the same thing and saying and forcing their own people to understand. Look where he went, Savannah region, and he was talking plenty. They didn't have anything. They had to steal 1 seat in Damangu. Because we just allowed it to go. Otherwise, they would have gotten 0 there.
Well, these are allegations you're making about them stealing that seat.
It's not an allegation, it's a fact.
Well, he also claims that the president seems to be indecisive, appointing people and replacing them just a few days or weeks later. Well, we know it's a fact that, of course, he has replaced some of these appointees. But what is your reaction to that? Do you agree? Of course, you clearly would not agree to that. But he says that he is confused. What's your reaction to that?
Look, this is not a president who has come into power for the first time. This is a president who has been in power before. He has the benefit of the hindsight of being a former president. He's not coming to start all over. He's not. The president who is on top of issues. His Excellency is on top of issues. He understood the governance of this country far better than these noisemakers. And he knows who I should put where and who I should take and move another place. He has the prerogative of power. That is it, the executive power. The Constitution gave him that thing. He can appoint you today and tomorrow and disappoint you. He has that executive power. Tell me whether he has done anything wrong. If he put you today and decide that, no, I would rather want you to go and do this thing for me. Another place. This is what Nanado didn't do for 8 years, and we suffered. And look at how they ran down the economy under their finance minister, of which their own party, MPs, 98 of them, wrote petition and saying that remove that finance minister because he was causing mess for this country. What did they do? Where was Mustafa?
Right.
Where was Mustafa? When their own party people were running helter-skelter and asking that remove these people, what was he doing? The president was dumb. He was just sitting there. Look, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he is on top of issues. He has a full grasp of his government and he knows what he's doing.
Well, Dr. Rashid, before you go, let me just ask you really if you've heard anything from the Electoral Commission on the Ablekuma North seat. It's been 4 months into government, still no representation for the constituents of Ablekuma North. Have you heard anything yet?
Well, we are on course with it in the sense that we will not allow an illegality to be perpetuated on the good people of Ablekuma North. That is why there's this stalemate, because the MPP with their collaborators in the Electoral Commission want to push an agenda and make sure that an illegal person is declared winner, of which we, the NDC, will not accept. And that is why we are going through the process. What we want them to do is that let us go for a rerun for the 62 polling stations and then decide who wins the election. And matter finished. That's all.
And you are asking for a rerun. What is the Electoral Commission telling you?
We are waiting on them to respond appropriately to that, because we are not going to accept any scanned copies of our opponent. They have used scanned copies of MPP to declare 58 areas, 59, and we are not going to agree. We say we won't accept that scanned copy. Their opponents, they have designed it in their own office and brought it, and their collaborators in the Electoral Commission decided to use it to declare 59 out of the 62, and now waiting to add 3 more to say they have finished. We won't accept it.
Well, many thanks for your time. Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the National Democratic Congress, NDC. But we have some more stories for you, George.
Well, away from the NDC, let's delve into the camp of the MPP, because a founding member of the party, Dr. Nyao Tamakulu, says former President Akufo-Addo destroyed the New Patriotic Party by practicing nepotism. In an interview with Kemini Aman on TV3's What Issues, the former Ghana Football Association president said although the ex-president is no longer the leader of the party, he continues to pull strings that cause problems for the party. Take a listen.
And I personally I've really been shocked by the leadership of Akufo-Addo, because I had a lot of faith in him. If we are to discuss that, to take a long time. I'm not interested. He came in and he never listened to anybody. You follow me? But we have people like Kwame Pianim. If he comes from the economy, you have nothing to worry about. But brought in your own cousins, and it became a family affair. And recently, I condemn that so-called thank you march. And I even talk about if that would rather create problems in the party.
Why?
And it started. Look at the stabbing in Kumasi, which led to the, to Kennedy Ajopon just leaving the group. I spoke about it 2 days before. So I get surprised when at times you even advise them from afar and they won't listen. But the boys there now, their interest is not the development of this country. Their interest is to come and steal, make money. Look at that young Eduboyini. Millions. And the crafty way with which they get the money, they thought it would never be traced. So I have warned President Mahama. I said it on air yesterday. If they fail to prosecute these people who have stolen money, I'm telling you, they will never be forgiven. We need a kind of leadership that can make decisive decisions without any undue interference. And I doubt Bawumia has that temerity as a leader. The economic and social challenges facing Ghana today, ballooning debt, rising unemployment, and an eroded public trust in governance cannot be addressed by half measures or by a leader who is constantly looking over his shoulder for approval from power brokers. No, what we need is a leader with courage and the will to break free from political patronage, who can make tough decisions even when they are unpopular or go against the grain of his own party's entrenched interests. Now, I am not convinced that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has shown that level of resolve.
Well, you can watch the full interview with the founding member of the party, Nyawo Tamaklo, with my colleague Kemini Aman at 2 p.m. on Hot Issues, so do make a date. Away from that, the Ghana National Fire Service has announced that over 550 million worth of property was salvaged from fire incident in 2024, marking a 159.8% increase compared to 2023. Despite a 7.8% rise in fire cases from 5,973 in 2023 to 6,436 in 2024, the service attributes its success to improved fire response strategies and public safety campaigns. Major fire causes during the period included electrical faults, gas leakages, and careless handling of open flames. While the cost of fire-related damages rose by 51.9%, the fire service also reported positive trends as fire-related deaths dropped by 7.41% and injuries were halved. Road traffic collisions deaths fell by 15.7%, though slight increases were seen in RTC-related injuries and bushfires. Well, let's go on to the telephone lines and engage Divisional Officer 2 Desmond Aka, who is the head of public relations of the Ghana National Fire Service. And thanks for joining us. What specific strategies led to the significant increase in salvage properties in the year 2024?
Right, so good afternoon and thanks for having me. I think even of last year we were so deliberate and strategic in trying to respond, improve upon our response time. We did a lot of engagement at the community level, and because of the strategies that we put in place, most of the fires that we attended were able to respond within the internationally accepted response time of 4 to 5 minutes. And that really helped us in saving a lot of these properties from the ravages of fire, making over 550 million savings. Because of the fact that we also improved upon our communication. Otherwise, in times past, people had difficulties in reporting fires and related emergencies to us. But because of the improved communication, they were able to report most of these fires to us, which we responded in good time. And that is how come we were able to even save more lives as compared to the previous year. It also calls for looking at the number of or the amount of properties that went down by fire. It calls for the urgent need for the fire service to also be resourced, retooled with modern equipment so that we can even do more, we can even engage more. We can also reach out even to the unreached planes with the gospel according to fire safety, because we believe that an empowered society would go a long way to kind of help us to reduce or prevent some of these preventable fire. Because if you look at the causes, most of the causes that we recorded are very much preventable. And the only way out is to restore the fire service to be able to reach out to the masses and then empower them to be able to especially put in measures to prevent these fires. And then also, because we are human beings and some of the fires there's nothing you can do about them. They are bound to happen. Because they are empowered, they would also react and effectively handle them before they get out of hand. Okay. So even looking at the out on arrival cases, we recorded well over 30% of fires that were even managed by members of the public before we got to the scene. So given much, I believe we can also do more to be able to reduce properties that are normally destroyed. We also realized that a lot of these fires occurred within our domestic setting. So strategically, we are targeting our residential areas. We're going to liaise with the local assemblies, the assembly members, so that we can reach out to people within our residential communities. And then also go into PPE with some individuals and private sector to ensure that we provide fire extinguishers, early detection warning system to every household so as to be able to alert people and then also help them to be able to handle these fires when they do occur. So the prospects are more.
Okay. Okay, Desmond, let's look at sustainability. How does the service plan to sustain or improve these gains in fire prevention and rescue operations in the year 2025?
Well, we can only do this with the support of the general public. Without their support, whatever effort that we will put in will not yield much. If people begin to make changes in their attitude towards their own safety, I think it will go a long way to help us. Many a times people accuse us of not doing much, but the statistics or the figures that we are seeing suggest that we remain one of the active security agency in Ghana. So when a lot more resources are given, when corporate Ghana comes on board, when individuals, well-meaning individuals who want to protect their property and secure their investments in Ghana come on board to support us with some APPs, appropriate fire protection equipment or working gears, and even utility vehicles mounted with PA systems. And that is where we'll be able to enhance our visibility, educate Ghanaians about fire prevention. And also, when we have these modern equipment, like RIVs, rapid intervention vehicles, firefighting motors, where we can deploy them at various highways and even our commercial centers to reduce some of these distractions when the fires break out. I mean, it will go a long way to improve upon our response time. And then also, lastly, if the MMDAs are also able to prioritize us by expanding or building in areas where we do not cover, and even where we have cover, when they are able to add a few other stations with functional attendants, that is where we become closer, or we are seeing more closer in the communities. The fact that when fires or related life-threatening emergency occur, at the beacon on us, we are able to reach out there within minutes, and therefore lives and property as well as the environment will be saved.
And thank you so much, Desmond. Desmond is the head of public relations of the Ghana National Fire Service, telling us about some achievement they've chalked. Some 550 million worth of property was salvaged through fire incident in the year 2024. That's 159.8% increase compared to 2023. Judith.
Absolutely. Now, away from fire outbreaks, legal scholar and governance advocate Professor Kweku Asare has strongly rebutted the Ghana Bar Association's claim that the recent suspension of the Chief Justice is unconstitutional, arguing instead that the GBA's position lacks legal merit and undermines judicial integrity. Now, in a statement titled, "No, GBA, the suspension is not unconstitutional. Yes, your statement is prejudicial," Professor Asare, known as Kweku Asare, emphasized that the President's discretionary power under Article 296 Clause C of the Constitution does not require prior regulations in all cases. Citing the Supreme Court's unanimous ruling in the Ransford France versus Electoral Commission, he noted that Article 296C applies only to quasi-judicial decisions, not administrative acts such as temporary suspension. A literal reading would paralyze the state, he warned, referencing Justice Databa's caution against legal interpretations that cripple governance. Well, he further accused the GBA of ignoring precedent and promoting confusion, saying that the association had failed to provide any evidence that the suspension was arbitrary or biased. Professor Asare also criticized the GBA for issuing what he described as a prejudicial public statement while simultaneously calling for restraint.
And our illegal mining continues to destroy Ghana's forests, water bodies and farmlands despite repeated government crackdowns. Government has in the past few weeks renewed efforts to deal with illegal mining across the country.
Illegal mining has already destroyed vast swaths of forest reserves and farmlands over the last few years. The Galamsey activities have led to environmental degradation, including the pollution of rivers with toxic chemicals such as mercury and cyanide. Various governments have taken steps to tackle the menace, but it still continues. Last month, a joint operation by the Western Region Forestry Commission and the Ghana Armed Forces raided Abrewaninkran, a slum community in Western Region whose residents engaged in illegal mining. This is part of the renewed drive by government under the current Lands and Natural Resources Minister to tackle the menace of illegal mining across Ghana. Addressing this year's International Workers' Day on May 1, President John Dramani Mahama said he had no illusions about the complexity of the illegal mining crisis while campaigning for the office.
Galamsey is a complex one, and when I was vying for the presidency, I did not kid myself that when I come into office, I will win that fight in 4 months. Yet, we will not give up.
President Mahama assured that the security agencies are determined to deal with the menace of illegal mining operations threatening the country's forest reserves and water bodies.
Our gallant men of the armed forces and security services are up to the fight and will continue to score successes against the selfish companies and individuals who are destroying our forests and polluting our water bodies.
Environmental NGOs have for months been calling for the declaration of a state of emergency in areas affected by illegal mining activities. But this is yet to be done. For a founding member of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, government must declare a state of emergency.
If they don't tackle it seriously, to me, that should be the number one priority. But it appears it's being joked with. As I said before, others have said it, they should declare state of emergency in that area.
Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo also wants the military to be put fully in charge of the illegal mining fight.
Hand it over to the military to see to. And the military will have it stopped within weeks, if not months.
Convener of the Fix the Country movement, Oliver Bakavomawa, who was arrested and put on trial last year for organizing protests against illegal mining, says the fight should be a collective one which must concern all Ghanaians.
You know, I mean, I don't think anybody can discount the complexity of what we need to do in terms of what Galamsey is. But complex problems also require complex and comprehensive solutions. So far, the plans and the ways in which we're going about this has not been revealed in any strategic policy document for us to understand how does everything fit in.
Environmental NGOs have for months called for the repeal of LI 2462, which allows mining in forest reserves and biodiversity areas. The new NDC government had wanted to repeal a portion of the LI, but some officials of government have indicated the entire LI will be repealed when Parliament resumes from its Easter recess. It is the hope of Ghanaians that the fight against illegal mining will be continued to safeguard the country's environment for the future generation. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
In more news this afternoon, residents of Darampong in the Gomwa West District of the Central Region have appealed to government to fix the Ankwamu to Darampong road. The poor state of the road is affecting both the economic and social life of the people. Correspondent Akwesiado has more in this report.
The Mumford Apam and Kamuswedro Road is commonly referred to as the Gomwa Highway by locals, as it connects several Gomwa communities. It was in a terrible condition until a section of it saw a partial construction. But the Ankamu to the Rampon stretch has remained untouched. Its rough surface and dusty nature makes traveling uncomfortable. Commercial motorists always feel the blunt. We always get issues with our cars. We buy spare parts frequently. They last for a few days and we have to replace them again. We frequent the mechanic shop always, so we are paying for them to construct the road.
Last 4 years now, so yeah, that is no so still
Residents as well as professionals who commute to work on a daily basis are extremely concerned. They have intensified calls to have the road fully constructed to honor their recurring political pledges.
Our road has always been a challenge for us, especially from our Palm Junction to our community at the Rampon. It's been in bad state for only God knows how long. Governments upon governments come and they promise to work on the road, but it is still the same. And that has affected a lot of activities in the community, especially in our school here. People are posted here, and once they get to Apam Junction, they commune here, they get here and they never come back because of the roads. We've had students who have been in school for 3 years and they have no parents or relatives visiting them because of the nature of our roads.
When they are coming and doing, especially in the rainy season and the rainfall, especially the road become too muddy and the cars find it difficult to use the route from here to Ankambo to Palm Junction. And teachers, sometimes teachers are also, you have basic schools and other polyclinics also here. The workers sometimes find it difficult when they are going to the district office to even submit some document and other things.
When you are coming from Ankamo, that is our Palm Junction, to this place, you'll be discouraged to go back. If you are a student for the first time, you want to come here, you'll go back. Our students are finding it a challenge, especially when they are going home during breaks. Some of them will stay here 2-3 days not getting a car because of the road. So that has been a major thing that we are praying that the government will make sure that the road is well fixed.
Attempts to give the road a facelift began from the Kofor's era, but the construction work stalled until 2017 when the Akufo-Addo-led government hired another contractor to work on the road. Work stalled again due to unpaid funds to the contractor, leading to protests by taxi drivers in the area in mid-2024. The chief of the Rampon, Nana Kokom Mensah, who doubles as the Susubribe Hine of the Gomuasin traditional area, in an interview with TV3 News, implored government to pay attention to the road.
Yes, President. Yes, President. Baby, I am paying for what Manka Biano won't trouble in Bosha Yakwan and Yakra, especially in Surutute.
We are pleading with the president and his representatives to pay attention to our road. It is worse in the rainy season. This is where the Gomua market is situated. The school is also here, so we are pleading on government to construct the road for us.
The environment is fine. Yes, Rabbi, Nanim pay for the one brand of one machine. No one says my.
You're so watching Weekend Central right here on TV3. We're going for a very fast break. When we're back, we have more stories for you. Do stay.
So much love in the air. What are we looking at?
Well, you're still watching Weekend Central here on TV3. We are live on Facebook, TV3 Ghana, on DSTV's channel 27 now. And now, children around the world face numerous health challenges, including the sex-killer diseases. However, with effective child health promotion strategies, many of these challenges can be overcome. Acting Regional Director of Health Service for Greater Accra, Dr. Robert Amesia, wants hospitals to prioritize initiatives aimed at promoting healthy lifestyles, particularly for children.
Although they are fully preventable and treatable, common infectious diseases continue to claim the lives of many young children. To ensure maximum protection against these diseases and to enhance child health education, it is essential to educate parents, caregivers, and communities about healthy practices and behaviors that can help prevent illnesses and improve overall health. Speaking at the Child Health Promotion and African Vaccination Week launch, the Acting Regional Director of Health Service, Greater Accra, Dr. Robert Amesia, encouraged hospitals to organize health activities aimed at promoting healthy living, particularly for children.
All district directories of health service, hospitals, polyclinics within the Greater Accra region have been sensitized and instructed to organize series of events and activities to mark the week at their levels in order to create more awareness on the package of health interventions that are available at our health facilities to promote healthy growth and development of the child. Parents and community members should therefore expect accelerated activities and services in our essential health package as immunization, vitamin A supplementation, deworming, growth monitoring, nutrition assessment, and birth registration.
He also stressed that vaccination is a vital tool in the prevention of infectious diseases, hence an advice for the general public to adopt the practice.
Vaccination, as we all know, helps the body immune system to fight against specific diseases. Vaccines protect against serious and potentially life-threatening diseases. Vaccines reduce risk of complications of long-term health problems associated with vaccine-preventable diseases.
With the launch, health officials are hopeful that these efforts will lead to a healthier future for children.
Employee burnout is a frequent issue, with many workers citing long hours and job stress. However, most Ghanaians expressed dissatisfaction with their jobs as they had hoped for better opportunities while growing up. Report by Erica Juma Crunchy.
Ghanaians are the third most stressed workers in West Africa, following Liberia and Sierra Leone. The 2025 Gallup report reveals that 63% of Ghanaian workers experience excessive work-related stress, with 6 out of 10 admitting to have anxiety attacks at work. Additionally, 47% report suffering from sleep deprivation due to job-related pressures. In expressing their frustrations, many workers say they remain in their jobs purely for financial reasons and are actively seeking better opportunities.
Okay, so I'm here because this is my mom's business and I have to help her out. So if I don't help her, we won't be able to feed, because this is what we feed on. This is what she's been doing since I was a child. This is what I've known her to be doing. Apart from that, she does this catering services. So if I don't help her, we won't be able to feed. But I do not love doing this. I don't like it at all.
I want to be a businessman, a successful businessman, because I just start from here. Because
for some, however, their jobs offer more than just a paycheck. They provide a sense of purpose and fulfillment.
I'm a student and I trade online. As a student, sometimes you get bored when you're not studying. So I feel like it's something to clear my head. I use it to clear my head sometimes, and I'm always on my phone, so I think it's something that I don't mind doing.
I'm preparing food for a white man. I hope the salary is okay for me and he's treats me good. I'm happy. I love to do because it's also my handwork. What I learn, I hope I can use it to create my own business and employ people.
Workplace happiness among Ghanaian employees is influenced by a range of factors. Employers who prioritize employee well-being and address these key issues may see a boost in productivity and morale.
There was chaos at the Nadoli-Kaleo District Assembly as the only female nominee among the Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives in the entire Upper West region was rejected. Correspondent Ibrahim Wangara reports that out of 52 total vote cast, the nominee obtained 28 no votes as against 24 yes votes.
The nomination of Mayor Haruna by President John Dramani Mahama to serve as the District Chief Executive for the Nadoli-Kaleo District, if confirmed, has since day one been met with confrontations and backlash. Although some people, including queens and women-led groups, were happy for her nomination to complement the inclusion of women representation in the local governance process, many were equally against her nomination as they thought the due process was not followed. With several appeals made by local and national authorities within the party, the nominee could not go through it successfully. Member of Parliament for Nadoli-Kaleo constituency, Suma Anthony Mwenkara, spoke ahead of the elections.
Sometimes it's better to deal with the rough edges before we come to the general. That is why you saw that we're holding a couple of meetings so that we can come speaking the same voice. I think that from what I see, we have a positive start. This confirmation cannot divide Nadoli-Kaleo. The nomination is to get us a DC so that she will lead the district, and with my support so that we can develop.
The exercise, which began peacefully with a series of meetings, was later nearly marred by chaos from both supporters and party members. The concerned youth of Kaleo Traditional Council has expressed deep concern and disappointment over what they describe as divisive, discriminatory, and insightful comments made during the process. They say any attempt to exclude competent individuals from the race based on ethnic or community origin will be strongly rejected.
Well, let's know what your concerns are regarding this very confusion and some stories that I've aired so far. We are active on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. Engage us now. But that's how we go for a second break. Stay with us for more news updates.
And where are we going today?
Just use your imagination.
Go, go, go!
My family is the only thing that matters to me right now.
This is the
Welcome back. You're still watching Weekend Central. In other news this afternoon, although fiscal attacks against journalists are the most visible violations against press freedom, the president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Kwabena Jumfour, says economic pressure is also a major problem. At the gathering to mark World Press Freedom Day 2025, he commended individuals for championing Ghana's media growth and resilience. A report by Akua Oforiwadako.
As of February 2025, 11 journalists have already faced assault in Ghana.
This is the reason why we have been calling on the police to take attacks on journalists seriously, especially bringing perpetrators of attack on the media to face justice, to serve as deterrent to others. The reason why we have been demanding justice for our murdered colleague, Ahmed Swali. The time to act is now.
Highlighting the urgent need for stronger protection within the media landscape, the president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Kwabena Jumfour, called for robust measures to enhance media security and development. He emphasized that a free and independent press is vital to sustaining Ghana's democratic values. According to Jumfour, journalists must be allowed to carry out their duties without intimidation or fear of reprisal.
I wish to remind all that the promotion of press freedom is not the burden of only media practitioners. It is also the responsibility of all, because the lack of press freedom affects every aspect of our national life.
If a free press is a shield of democracy, then responsible journalism, free from bias and manipulation, can help make the world a better place.
Let us work together to build a media landscape that is free, vibrant, resilient, innovative, and deeply committed to serving the public interest in this rapidly evolving AI era.
The Minister of State in charge of government communication, Felix Kwakye-Ofosu, said that the greatest threat to press freedom today is no longer censorship, but disinformation. He noted, however, that the passage of the Right to Information Law has created greater opportunities for credible access to information within the media landscape.
These developments have amplified diverse voices and perspectives, thereby deepening democratic participation and enhancing civic engagement. Yet, in recent years, our nation has witnessed deeply troubling incidents that undermine the safety and independence of the press.
At the GJA's celebration of World Press Freedom Day and on its night, 24 outstanding individuals and organizations were recognized for their contribution to advancing press freedom in Ghana. This year's World Press Freedom Day is themed honoring champions of press freedom and media development in Ghana, strengthening the media in the age of AI. Akua Oforiwadako, TV3 News, Accra.
In more news this afternoon, it's a policy that opened classroom doors to thousands. Cracks in Ghana's free SHS policy are now visibly obvious. Our reporter joined Parliament's Education Committee on a school visit in Accra, and what they uncovered was eye-opening.
In the busy corridors of Ghana's senior high schools, a subtle epidemic is growing. While national efforts such as the Free Senior High School policy have expanded access to education for thousands of students, the very success of these reforms has brought along a new wave of challenges. From overcrowded classrooms to rising social issues, the pressure on school authorities is mounting. During a recent visit by Parliament's Select Committee on Education, a common issue emerged: the transitional system is overwhelming school facilities and teachers who are tasked with educating students all year round.
This puts a lot of stress on the few teachers in residence who take care of the large numbers of boarders. Unfortunately, they do not have the opportunity to have vacation throughout the year because of the transitional calendar the school runs per the free SHS policy.
That is creating a lot of problems for us, especially discipline. The teachers are also struggling
because there are teachers who teach almost the whole year, from January to December.
Chemu Senior High School, a day school in the Tema metropolis with a student population of 1,769, highlighted some of these challenges. The headmistress pointed out the particular struggles faced by female students, especially regarding the high cost of transportation for day students, which has forced some to seek alternative living arrangements.
We have most of our students coming from outside Tema. Some are coming from Afienya, some are coming from 25, some are even coming from Kaswa, Mamobi. Some of our students are forced to look for homes around and then high rents and then come to school, which also poses another challenge. Some of them are even living with boyfriends and then girlfriends. We have that challenge. Last year, for instance, we had about 3 of our students writing they were pregnant.
The chairman of the Education Committee acknowledged the concerns raised and assured that all the issues discussed would be presented to Parliament for consideration.
For some time now, we have the free senior high school, which has made it possible for quite a large number of students to have access to secondary education. It has come with challenges, and those challenges need to be addressed. And one of them is infrastructure. We want to find out how the various heads of the institutions are coping. We have met them. We are going to take note of them, prepare our reports for the Minister of Education to act on them, because he is determined to end the double track within the very shortest possible time.
Other members of the committee also shared their perspectives.
You can appreciate what stood out most is that teachers and infrastructure are suffering constant usage throughout the year.
What stood out for me is the classroom blocks. They need to get the classroom blocks. If you look at Accra like this, they will need a new dining hall that can take about 1,000 students at a go.
We are pleading with the government to support the minister with the resources so that we can revert to the single track.
Safa Boyne, TV3 News, Accra.
Judith, the chairman of the committee couldn't have said it any better. Free SHS has come to stay, and just that some challenges must be addressed to ensure its longevity and sustainability.
Yeah, clearly, because of course we know that there have been a lot of issues raised over the years. We also know about the issue of hidden costs. People are having to pay for extra classes, and so really it begs the question: is free SHS really free?
Is it free? Yeah.
That's one thing that the government should really prioritize and see if they can tackle the matter and ensure that our parents are actually benefiting from the free SHS policy. Yes.
You're not saying anything about my outfit. It's from Afedido. They're on Instagram.
Yeah, you're looking great, by the way.
Thank you so much. I'm blushing.
Okay, so that's how we end the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Judith Brown. I've been doing this with.
And my name is Josh Quinn. For more news updates, just log on to our website, it's 3news.com. Also follow us on Instagram, TV3.gh, for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure coming your way. Good afternoon.